Education in Australia has come a long way and has made a turn for the best, and is forever transforming, with many factors contributing to its growth. These factors include historical, economical, social, industrial, political and philosophical contexts. So where and how did it all begin? Schools have existed for more than 200 years. Historically, Australian schools were housed in all sorts of buildings, such as churches, houses, halls, shops, barns, and anything that would serve as a school. And if you were lucky enough, you might have a small, one-room schoolhouse donated by the local farmer. Nowadays, schools are large, formal public institutions established by government departments, which include special teaching technologies such as interactive whiteboards and many more. Back in the 1800s, it was not mandatory for children to attend school. Students that did not attend school were sent to work to contribute to the household finance. Students who went to school to get an education were considered to be privileged. By 1872, when the Education Department was established, schools were free and now compulsory to attend, however not necessarily free. In the old days, students stuck to a strict regime in that they only learned what the teacher taught, specifically the rudiments of reading, writing and arithmetic. For even small misdemeanours or failure to learn, students were subject to corporal punishment, which is now outlawed. However, students can now learn in specialised areas such as media, physical education, food technology, art, and many more. As there was an importance placed on academic achievement, by 2002 there was industry-orientated education implemented known as VCAL, the Victorian Certificate of Applied Learning, for students who were disengaged from mainstream schooling, with the opportunity to gain work-related skills, because previously these type of students would drop out of school. Another interesting point was in earlier years, children were combined into composite classes and are now educated based on age. About 100 years ago, there was no standardised curriculum or government funding. However, today, ACARA has migrated towards AusVals in an attempt to get standardised curriculum. Up until recently, each state had its own curriculum for schools to follow. It has only been in relatively recent times that teachers have been required to have a specific undergraduate qualification in order to teach in our schools, compared to decades ago where students as young as 13 could apply to be teachers. Globally, Australia's achievements are constantly compared with other countries, such as wanting to compete with Asian standards. However, Australia still has much to learn. What is known as the Asian Century White Paper is going to be the vision for Australia to be one of the world's top 5 performing school education systems by 2025. Technology is also a recent advancement which has allowed for communication between individuals around the globe. And because of globalisation, multiculturalism now exists in our schools today, with a broad range of individuals coming from different ethnicities compared to schools in the earlier days that only had a specific race. A stronger educational system is essential to a sustainable economic environment, and politicians of all persuasions see education is playing a major role in the economy, supplying knowledge and good attitudes, habits and skills, in particular ICT, that individuals can use in an ever-evolving competitive global market. Of recent times, an extra educational issue has hit the minds of Australians: teacher pay rates. The idea of teacher pay is now a heavily political and publicised issue, in that Ted Baillieu, former Premier of Victoria, was called out on his broken promise. He promised Victorian teachers that they would be the highest paid teachers in Australia. This turned out to be false and resulted in 42,000 teachers taking industrial action by going on strike for better pay, and an epic 18-month battle with the state government ensued. The resolution to this dispute was a 16 to 20% pay increase over 3 years. When my dad started teaching in 1969, he was earning $3,800, and when you compare it to nowadays, beginning teachers are earning approximately $60,000. That is a big difference. Another issue that is surrounded by much contention is how much federal funding is required to raise the decreasing standards of Australian education. These funds are expected to be put towards improving Australia's educational outcomes, which research evidence indicates has the power to make a difference. These funds are being provided because of the Gonski Review, which promises to provide extra funding of up to $5 billion to schools that are remote, small, have a lot of low socio-economic status individuals, as well as Indigenous people. In turn, this is beneficial to these students, but less funding is provided to private schools. People say, why should the wealthier schools become wealthier? But in hindsight, parents who send their children to private schools may be working 2 or 3 jobs to send their child to a private school. And this inevitably means that parents have to make up the difference of what is not funded. So, who will you choose to decide your child's education? Socially, there is a lot of emphasis placed on educational outcomes of students, which prompts parents to ask the question, which school should I send my child to maximise their results, whether it be a Catholic, independent or a government school. The socio-economic status of a family contributes to the type of education a child will receive. It has been suggested that academic results between high socio-economic groups and low are quite different. Additionally, there continues to be a gap in resources and available equipment between wealthier and poorer schools, which does inevitably also have an impact on the quality of education a student receives, which is trying to be redressed through Gonski. In hindsight, extra money and quick fixes won't necessarily improve education. Money should be spent on bringing in quality teachers, as well as raising the bar for graduating teachers, while providing meaningful, professional development for practicing teachers around quality teaching. The future direction of Australia's education is witnessing a phenomenal transformation in staying afloat in this information-rich world. Teachers are migrating towards the integration of technology into classrooms by introducing iPads, laptops, TVs, projectors, interactive whiteboards, computers, and many more, which are revolutionising the world, which teachers are endeavouring to stay afloat in to meet the needs of learners of today. Not only do teachers have to integrate ICT, but have to have a sound knowledge of the curriculum content. This is a far cry from when schools started off with blackboards and chalks as their basic resources, to the technological revolution of today, where information can be found at the click of a button. Finally, many different philosophies exist in education. However, as a teacher, we all will construct our own philosophy. Various philosophers such as Dewey, James, Peirce, and Child's pragmatic beliefs have informed pedagogy and the basis of my thinking. These beliefs are about testing the validity of knowledge, and from those tests we construct theories. This means subject content is constantly changing, and the fundamental thing for teaching is for individuals to find their own ideas through experience and interactions with the environment. Inevitably, I hope education continues to evolve and become more diverse to meet the needs of learners today.